So, guys, it's official. Archaeology is here, and with it comes those decorated pots. They look cool, they're craftable, they're breakable, and yet the Minecraft community seems to think that they're missing something. Something like, this. Okay, yeah, I admit, that was fun. And if you hadn't already guessed, by the way, that was a Datapack that I made. Now, as far as gameplay goes, well, there's not really much else to show you, but I probably should at least give you a brief rundown of how to make it work. The Datapack is intended primarily for map makers, so unfortunately at the moment there's no way to make those lootable pots in survival mode. Might add that at a future date though, so stay tuned. Okay, so how do you do this? Similarly to most of my Datapacks, this one doesn't globally affect all pots in the world. Instead, you have to take existing pots and then modify them. So for example, I can break these pots right now and nothing happens. However, if I run this function, lootpots_get_item_pointer, I will get a carrot on a stick in my hand called pot item filler. Now from here, I can put any item in my main hand and then switch the pot item filler to my offhand. And whenever I point at a pot and click, some particles should appear around it. At this point, breaking the pot will drop whatever item happened to be in my main hand when I filled up the pot. Now, as you may have seen from earlier, this works with all types of items, including items that have NBT data, like that enchanted bow from earlier, and it even continues to work if you exit and reload the world. The data is stored in entities that are persistent upon world unload. However, that is only one way to do it. There actually is another way that involves loot tables rather than items. If I run this function instead, lootpots_get_loot_pointer, I'll get a different carrot on a stick instead. This one is called pot loot filler. Filling pots using this filler requires it only to be in your main hand. And when I break the pots after filling them this way, they'll actually pull items from a loot table. Wow, I got 3 amethysts in a row. It's supposed to just be different types of crystals. It's the same loot table as the pots that I used at the very beginning of the video. This loot table is actually included in the data pack, it's a custom one, and my intention is that if you need to edit it, you should be able to do that as you wish. However, I also understand that you may want to populate these pots with other types of loot tables. Well, I have added functionality that supports that as well. If I go ahead and run a search for the data that's on this current carrot on a stick, you'll see that it has multiple NBT tags that I have added myself. One is pot_loot_pointer1b, which just signifies that this is a pointer that should be registered by the Datapack. And there's another one called loot table, with a string that's the ID of the loot table itself. Now when the pots are populated by loot, the loot table is actually not hard-coded, it is pulled from this NBT data. So, as a result, if I give myself another carrot on a stick using the following command format, again give it pot_loot_pointer1b and then a loot table field, I can fill this loot table field with any loot table that I want, and the data pack will act accordingly. For example, I could say chest/ruined portal, and now whenever I fill up a pot with this carrot on a stick, it should drop the same type of loot that you find whenever you find a ruined portal in survival mode. I'll go ahead and try that. And yeah, there you go, that's ruined portal loot. Now, I know what some of you may be thinking, does this data pack only work on pots? Because I know maybe some of you will want to use this exact same type of functionality on a different block. And for that reason, I have actually added a block tag into this data pack called LOOTABLE, which can be modified to reflect which types of blocks can support this loot. By default, the only entry in that block tag is the decorated pot. However, I just went and edited the data pack a little bit, so as soon as I reload, this looting behavior should now also work on these tall grass blocks. I'll go ahead and click a few of them. And now, whenever I'm breaking the glass, the ones that I populated with loot should drop their emeralds. Anyway, yeah, I think that's about all I have to show off. The data pack should be downloadable in the video description, so go check that out if you feel like it. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a comment letting me know what you thought. Feel free to also comment if you didn't like it. I guess I should have started with that. But yeah, I'll see you all later. Thanks for watching.